So, what do you think is the best way to learn English?
I believe immersing yourself in the language is key, like watching movies or TV shows in English.
That's true. Also, practicing speaking with native speakers can really help.
Absolutely. Language exchange meetups are a great way to do that.
And don't forget about studying grammar and vocabulary. It's not the most fun, but it's necessary.
Right. A balanced approach is probably the best. Mixing speaking practice with grammar and vocabulary learning.
How did you study English?
Well, I started with online courses to build a basic understanding.
That makes sense. Did you use any specific apps or websites?
Yes, I used apps like Duolingo for vocabulary and some grammar.
I've heard about that. How about speaking practice?
For that, I joined a local language exchange group. It was great for real conversation practice.
Sounds effective. And what about understanding native speakers?
I watched a lot of English news and YouTube channels. It really helped with listening skills.
That's a good strategy. Keeping a balance between different methods seems key.
Continuing is the most important thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Consistency beats intensity every time.
Yeah, studying a little every day is better than cramming.
True. Also, setting realistic goals helps to keep motivated.
Right, like aiming to learn a few new words each day.
And celebrating small victories is important too.
Definitely. It's about enjoying the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And sometimes, taking a break is necessary.
For sure, a fresh mind can make learning more effective.
Did you have any unique study methods that others weren't doing?
Well, I used to translate my favorite songs into English. It made learning more fun.
That's interesting. Music can be a great learning tool.
Yes, and I also kept a diary in English. It was a good writing practice.
Keeping a diary sounds effective. Did it help with your fluency?
Definitely. It forced me to think and express myself in English every day.
That's a creative approach. I might try that.
You should. It's about finding what works for you.
True. Everyone's learning style is different, after all.
Did you ever do a language study abroad?
No, I never had the chance. But I think it would have been a great experience.
I did, actually. I spent 6 months in England. It really boosted my confidence.
That sounds amazing. Was it difficult to adjust at first?
A bit, especially with the different accents and slang.
I can imagine. Immersion must have been a powerful tool.
Definitely. It's one thing to learn a language in class, but living it is something else.
Would you recommend it to others?
For sure. If you have the opportunity, it's invaluable.
How did you get used to the slang?
Mostly by listening and asking. When I didn't understand a word, I'd just ask.
That sounds like a practical approach. Was everyone willing to explain?
Most people were really helpful and patient. They seemed to appreciate the effort.
That's good to hear. Any other tips for dealing with slang?
Watching local TV shows and movies helped a lot. They use a lot of slang.
I'll have to try that. It's like learning the language in its natural habitat.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to mimic what you hear. It's a great way to practice.
Sounds like a plan. Learning slang also seems like a fun way to understand the culture better.
Do you have any movie recommendations for learning English?
I really liked The Social Network. It's great for understanding modern American English.
Oh, that's a good one. How about classic films?
For classics, To Kill a Mockingbird is excellent. It also gives cultural insights.
I'll add that to my list. Any more contemporary suggestions?
The Grand Budapest Hotel has unique dialogue and is visually stunning.
Sounds interesting. I guess watching a variety of genres helps.
Absolutely. It's all about exposure to different types of spoken English.
Thanks for the suggestions. I'm excited to expand my learning with these movies.
The Social Network might be tough for beginners, so I'd recommend Finding Nemo for them.
That's a great choice. Animated movies can be really helpful for basic language skills.
Exactly. The dialogue is simpler and clearer, which is great for learning.
And it's enjoyable too. Makes learning less of a chore and more of an adventure.
Do you have any other animated movie suggestions?
Toy Story is another great one. It's entertaining and the language is accessible.
I'll check that out. Thanks. Movies make learning more interactive and fun.
Absolutely. They're a great supplement to traditional language learning methods.
Looking forward to adding these to my learning routine.
Changing the language settings in video games to English can also be effective for learning.
Absolutely. It combines fun and learning, especially with story-driven games. It's a good way to pick up conversational English and slang.
Plus, it's interactive. You get to practice reading and listening skills actively.
Do you have any game recommendations for this?
The Legend of Zelda series is great. The dialogue is easy to follow.
I've heard The Sims is also good, since it simulates everyday life scenarios.
Great suggestions. I'll definitely try these out to improve my English.